The little fairy doctor, afflicted with the distressing poisonous body, was besieged by 3 Duzongs from the Glacier Valley. At the crucial moment, Xiao Yan arrived and placed himself protectively in front of her. Continuing from the previous episode, after learning of the little fairy doctor's predicament, Xiao Yan quickly headed towards the Yi family's location in Dan City. Since Ye Xinlan was with the little fairy doctor when they parted ways, Xiao Yan was hoping to get some specific information from her. Meanwhile, in the Yi family council hall, Yi Xinlan was having a heated argument with a green-robed elder man from the clan. The Yi family lost its position among the elders of the Pill Tower, causing the green-robed elder to propose that Ye Xinlan marry Xiao Dan of the Cow family, one of the other 5 great families. Xiao Dan was a rare alchemy prodigy, and only through this alliance could the Yi family avoid being expelled from the 5 great families. However, to Yi Xinlan, this was akin to leading a sheep to slaughter, as she believed that the Cow family had long been coveting her family's origins. Moreover, she had already requested Xiao Yan's help to solve this crisis. The green-robed elder responded angrily, "You overestimate others too much. The Yi family's crisis will not be solved by a random person. After all, where is this person you are talking about?" Yi Xinlan, who had been speechless for a moment, was unable to respond to his argument at that moment. A cold voice suddenly echoed in the hall. "No random person would be interested in solving your crisis." "Brother Xiao Yan?" Xinlan shouted. Xiao Yan's indifferent gaze swept across the hall, finally settling on Ye Xinlan. Although his expression softened slightly, his tone remained gloomy. "Xinlan, why did this happen?" Understanding the implication behind Xiao Yan's question, Xinlan's delicate face darkened as she answered softly, "I'm sorry." Seeing Xinlan's desperate expression, Xiao Yan calmed down. Given their limited strength and the obvious decline of the Yi family, it was unlikely they could help the little fairy doctor, even if Xinlan convinced them to. However, Xiao Yan's sudden intervention made one of the elders displeased. "Who are you to break into the Yi family without permission?" Ignoring the elder's rebuke, Xiao Yan considered him insignificant. A mere 1-star Duzong posed no threat. The only person in the hall who caught Xiao Yan's attention was the green-robed elder sitting at his head, who exuded an overwhelming presence of Du Qi, most likely a 6-star Duzong. At that moment, Xiao Yan grabbed Ye Xinlan, intending to walk out of the hall. The urgency of the little fairy doctor's situation left no time to waste. When the elder saw that he was being ignored, he shouted angrily, "You insolent brat! Today, I will teach you what it means to respect your elders." When the elder charged with a fierce gust of wind, Xiao Yan's eyes flashed with cold intent. His interest in the little fairy doctor had left him in a bad mood, and the old man became the unwitting target of his frustration. Immediately, Xiao Yan's fist covered in crystal lotus heartfire shot out. In the next second, the elder's face turned deathly pale, and his body flew backwards, as if he had been struck by a powerful force. Seeing the old man collapse, coughing up blood, the hall fell into deathly silence. Even Xinlan was shocked. She knew that Xiao Yan was strong enough to deal with Duzong experts, but seeing him incapacitate one of them with a single blow was beyond her expectations. In less than a year, his strength had grown tremendously. Finally, the green-robed elder sitting at his head was unable to remain passive. The green-robed elder sitting at the head last cannot remain passive. "Young man, this is the Yi family. Not only did you barge in uninvited, but now you've hurt one of our elders. Don't you owe us an explanation?" Xiao Yan replied, "I wasn't the one who struck first. I have urgent matters, and Xinlan must come with me now. If you want to hold someone accountable, I don't have time for that." Seeing the seriousness of the situation, Xinlan quickly interrupted. "Great Elder, Brother Xiao Yan is the person I mentioned. With his help, we can definitely regain our position among the elders of the Pill Tower." Upon hearing that, the green-robed elder hesitated, frowning as he looked at Xiao Yan. His eyes carried a trace of doubt. How could someone so young be able to bear it? "Are you a family savior, Yi, as Shenlin claims?" The great elder said. "If you are a true friend of Xinlan, please stay with the Yi family for a while. Maybe we can discuss this further." Xiao Yan, whose mind was entirely focused on the danger of the little fairy doctor, had no desire to stay. He wouldn't have come here if it weren't for Xinlan. Without further ado, he turned around and pulled Ye Xinlan towards the exit. And as for the elders of the Yi family blocking the entrance, Xiao Yan simply ignored them. Filled with powerful Dao Qi, it shot towards Xiao Yan's shoulders like lightning. Facing the attack from 2 Dao Zong of 3 stars each, Xiao Yan remained unfazed, and the earth demon puppet immediately appeared. A series of metallic clangs and sparks filled the air, causing the 2 men's expressions to change radically before they could retreat. A pair of silvery iron fists struck their chests at lightning speed, watching the 2 elders spout blood and fly, and the hall was once again silent. Xiao Yan's cold and murderous voice slowly echoed, "This is your last warning. Next time, I won't be so lenient." The green-robed old man, sitting at the head of the hall, became more serious, clearly feeling a trace of danger from the earth demon puppet. According to Xiao Yan's estimation, after absorbing the thunder pill from the burning flame valley, the earth demon puppet had reached the strength of a 7-star Dao Zong. At the same time, this grand elder of the Yi family was just a 6-star Dao Zong. The old man respectfully clasped his hands toward Xiao Yan. "I am Yi Chong, great elder of the Yi family. May I have the honor of knowing if this young friend is called Xiao Yan?" Xiao Yan gave a slight nod, but he didn't want to continue, and turned to leave the hall. Behind him, Ye Xinlan hesitated briefly, before quickly following behind him. Seeing this, Yi Chong could only sigh helplessly, and let the 2 leave. He now recognized Xiao Yan's strength, and perhaps this young man truly had the abilities, as Xinlan suggested, to lead the Yi family out of their predicament. However, today's conflict caused him a lot of distress, because it would definitely make Xiao Yan less inclined towards the Yi family. Meanwhile, after taking Ye Xinlan out of the Yi family's house, Xiao Yan quickly headed towards the Divine Fall Gorge, where the little fairy doctor had previously encountered trouble. Shortly after the Yi family left, the 2 stopped at the top of the mountain. At this moment, Xiao Yan learned the full story of the little fairy doctor's incident from Ye Xinlan. It turned out that after the 3 of them exited the spatial wormhole, they smoothly arrived at Dan City. However, because of the little fairy doctor's beautiful appearance, she had caught the attention of a lecherous sect called the Immortal Desire Sect. The sect master, the powerful Du Zong, had his sights set on her. In a fit of rage, the young fairy doctor annihilated the entire sect, including its master. But during that encounter, the seal on her sadly toxic body broke, leading to an outbreak of disease. In Dan City, a sad poisonous body had always been synonymous with disaster. When news of its outbreak spread, it caught the attention of many powers, and Glacier Valley was the most aggressive. This valley has a history of collecting various strange and special objects, using unique methods to transfer the souls of their experts into these objects to gain some of their abilities. Hearing Xinlan's words, Xiao Yan's face became increasingly gloomy. It seemed that Glacier Valley was actually not a good place. Suddenly, Xiao Yan remembered something. What about Xian? Has she been with the little fairy doctor all this time? At this, Xinlan was stunned for a moment, before he smiled bitterly. Xian disappeared shortly after we arrived in Dan City. Well, she didn't disappear completely. She left a message saying that she felt a sudden urge to go home. Go home? Xiao Yan's eyebrows furrowed deeply. Although he couldn't fully discern Xian's true identity, he had a vague feeling that she was a person of great importance. I hope that girl is okay. We can just deal with placing the little fairy doctor first, then look for her. With that, he and Ye Xinlan rushed towards the northern horizon. After a day of flying, Xiao Yan successfully arrived at Divine Fall Gorge. According to Ye Xinlan, the sky above the strait was covered in toxic fog, preventing them from flying directly over it. They had to enter from the mouth of the valley below. Furthermore, the research team was led by 2 seniors, Ping Yuan and Ping Fu, and it was estimated that there were at least 4 Daozong experts participating. Xiao Yan nodded slightly at this information. It seemed that Ice River Valley did not send any Duzun-level supernatural experts this time. However, given the little fairy doctor's current strength, these seniors would be more than enough to catch her. Then, with Ye Xinlan leading the way, Xiao Yan arrived at the entrance of the Divine Fall Gorge. The toxic fog here wasn't very thick, but it still hindered visibility somewhat. Coupled with the complex terrain within the strait, finding someone in such an environment would be extremely difficult. Seeing that no one was around, Ye Xinlan hurriedly took out a small black rat from her storage ring. This is a rat looking for poison. It is dead. But, thanks to the little fairy doctor's special refinement, he can lead us to her. The little black mouse twirled in the air for a moment, before suddenly rushing towards the western region of the Divine Fall Gorge. Seeing this, Xiao Yan quickly pulled Xinlan into his arms, turning into a mysterious figure that easily followed the poison-seeking rat. As they went deeper, the surrounding toxic mist became thicker, but fortunately, the heavenly flames were protecting them from its effects. After half an hour of traveling at full speed, the poison-seeking rat suddenly stopped, causing Xiao Yan to quickly hide behind a large rock with Xinlan. In front, dozens of white shapes were scattered around, and one of them was hovering in the air in the valley. Bing Yuan shouted, "Sad poison girl, return with me to Glacier Valley safely, and maybe you still have a way out." Xiao Yan's gaze followed the elder's voice, and his pupils suddenly shrank. Opposite the elder stood a graceful figure in white, her purple-gray eyes radiating cold, killing intent. It was none other than the little fairy doctor he was looking for. When Xiao Yan saw that she was unharmed, she couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. After scanning the surroundings, he noted that apart from the 6-star Elder Duzong facing the little fairy doctor, there were also 2 other white-robed elders, one at 6 stars and the other at 2 stars. In addition, dozens of elite disciples from Glacier Valley surrounded the area. Although this formation was formidable, it did not pose much of a threat to him now. After all, an earth demon puppet alone could handle a 6-star Daozong. Not to mention Xiao Yan's mastery of the Skyfire 3 mysterious changes, and the presence of a Daozun of fire in his storage ring. At this moment, the senior floating in the air coldly spoke to the little fairy doctor. "You wretched poison girl, you cannot escape. My ice sovereign power has struck you. Without the antidote from the Ice River Valley, the mysterious ice chew remaining in your body will freeze all your vitality within a month. Returning with me is your only chance to survive. Before my vitality freezes, I will completely destroy this body, leaving nothing for Glacier Valley." Bing Yuan's anger flared up. "Since you refuse the easy way, I personally arrest you and return you to the Ice River Valley." With that, countless ice spikes materialized next to the elder. Seeing the incoming ice spikes, the little fairy doctor furrowed her brows and quickly formed a gray-purple energy shield with her Du Qi. She formed a gray-purple energy shield with her Dao Qi. Although she managed to deflect most of the ice spikes, the strange cold aura surrounding her forced her to remain cautious. It was this cold aura that allowed Bing Yuan and Bing Fu to seriously hurt her. With their previous ice sovereign power, and knowing that she could not stay here, the little fairy doctor decided to make a quick retreat deeper into the valley. However, when it tried to move, dozens of Ice River Valley disciples shouted in unison, "Ice Sealing Array!" Instantly, the surrounding air turned into thick ice, trapping both the little fairy doctor and Bing Yuan inside. Bing Yuan's face turned into a cold smile. "Are you still thinking of escaping? Come back to Glacier Valley with me, and you might live. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless." As he approached, the cold intent in the little fairy doctor's gray-purple eyes intensified. She quickly formed a strange hand seal and prepared to unleash a distressing poison body. Although this would greatly enhance the poison body's outbreak, it was better than falling into his hands now. Realizing her determination, Bing Yuan increased his speed to the maximum, reaching her in an instant and launching a cold wind attack. The little fairy doctor was forced to abandon her hand seal and was only able to face his attack head-on, resulting in her spitting out blood and being thrown backwards. The blood was completely frozen before arriving at Bing Yuan. Watching the little fairy doctor wipe the blood from her lips, Bing Yuan laughed lightly. "Your sad poisonous body has not fully matured. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to deal with you alone." After running out of patience, Bing Yuan decided that as long as the poison sorrow's body remained intact, it didn't matter if the little fairy doctor was alive or not. Seeing the crooked smile on Bing Yuan's face, the little fairy doctor hurriedly mobilized the rare Dao Qi in her body, preparing for one last struggle. As soon as she made her decision, the massive ice walls surrounding her suddenly opened. Before Bing Yuan could react, the shadows rushed towards him, launching a ferocious attack. The sudden attack surprised Bing Yuan, causing him to panic. Several waves of freezing Du Qi shot out from his hands, violently colliding with the incoming attack. However, the result was a chorus of agonized screams. When Bing Yuan focused, he realized that these projectiles were none other than disciples from Glacier Valley. He looked up in panic, only to see Xiao Yan standing at the edge of the valley, smiling faintly. People from Glacier Valley really don't feel ashamed. Attacking an injured woman with so many people is really shameless. Upon seeing Xiao Yan, the little fairy doctor's pale cheeks were filled with disbelief. "Xiao Yan?" Looking at her tenderly, Xiao Yan's eyes softened. "I'm sorry I'm late.